Holy cow! Welcome to Donnie's Hangout Adventures. Do you remember here recently, not recently, it's been a couple months, about Vince McMahon and all these lawsuits that were going against him? Well, remember he sort of resigned from the company or retired, whatever you want to say. So he left the company. And so he was gone for a few months, and it almost feels like that was a complete storyline. It seems like we were pretty much the brunt of the joke with this. So Vince came back here a few days ago. And so he came back and took his position of power back. And why doesn't Vince just retire? He's going on 80. He's like 77, 78, somewhere around there. He ain't going to be around forever. But the thing is, the company is in a bad transitional period. Shane, here's the thing. I have always assumed for years that the company was going to remain with a McMahon because people don't know this. WWE has been around. Here's a little history lesson. Has been around since the 50s. Yes. They've been around for a long time. They're the longest wrestling company in history. Vince's great-grandfather owned it. Then Vince's dad owned it. Then Vince has owned it since about 81, 82, somewhere around there. He's owned it for quite a bit of years. So it's always been a McMahon. I have always assumed, like a lot of people, that it would stay in with a McMahon. I always assumed that in the will that it had on there that it goes to my kids or grandkids or a dog or a cat. I always assumed that. So we have Shane. Vince and Linda have two kids. They have two kids. There's Shane. Well, he left the company way back, or he quit, or he was fired. I want to say it. He left the company last year after some horrible Royal Rumble booking that he was in charge of. So he's not with the company. Stephanie, she was with the company. She resigned. Then when this is a little confusing. So then when Vince resigned, Stephanie came back. And then, okay, I got to rephrase this. Okay, so Stephanie was with the company. She resigned. Then Vince left, so she came back to the company. And then Vince came back to the company again. So Stephanie resigned again. Is everybody lost here? Because I'm clearly lost. She's having some kind of knee surgery. So there's a possibility she could come back. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe she's going to have another baby. Who knows? And so Stephanie's left the company. So that leaves the kids completely out of the equation. So that means it ain't. I always assumed it was going to go to one of the kids. So there's plans. I don't know why. These are mainly rumors that are circulating. And a lot of the rumors are just, I'm like, okay, whatever. A lot of rumors, they don't really bother me. I don't really have any comment on them. Like Disney, okay, whatever. Disney owns half of everything, it seems like. Disney's destroyed Star Wars movies. So I thought, Disney, they got billions and billions of dollars. So it would go down without a hitch. It would go down without a hitch with Disney owning that. No big deal. So, and then Tony Khan, AEW. That's another one that popped up. It's like, okay, yeah, why not? That'd be fine. You could merge the two companies into one. So, okay, that's completely, I completely overlooked that. There's even been an Elon Musk rumor out there that maybe he's going to potentially buy it. So all these rumors, I didn't really think much of it. Really, I'm not. But then there's one rumor that I think if it was sold to them, it would be the worst possible thing to happen to the WWE and to the United States. I'm sorry. I think it's the worst possible idea. And what's that? What's one of the rumors? Saudi Arabia. Yeah, A company from Saudi Arabia wants to buy WWE. Do we want Saudi Arabia to own a company? A wrestling company at that? Think how horrendous this would be. Saudi Arabia. People have a short memory about Saudi Arabia. This country is bad. Yeah, this country is... Why would Vince and company would even want to associate with Saudi Arabia? I thought it was stupid enough them holding pay-per-views in Saudi Arabia when they can't even have... They're so extreme. Women can't even appear on the pay-per-views a lot of time. Yeah, the women wrestlers, because they're so extreme over there. They're really, really extreme. Do you want to associate with a country that there is no free speech? Do you want to associate with a company where women are regularly discriminated against? Do you want to associate with a country where you can get arrested for no reason whatsoever? Do you want to associate with a country that is big on Islamic extremist terrorism? This is what Vince wants to say. If this is true, this is a rumor. And let me tell you, it's flooding the internet. But why would Vince even think of the idea? Why would it even pop up in his mind? But then again, should I be surprised when I've heard stories that the O.J. Simpson trial, they wanted to put Ron Golden with a gun and have him face O.J. Simpson in the middle of the ring. So I really shouldn't be surprised by this with Vince McMahon. But let's be honest, if this rumor is true, this could be the worst thing to happen to WWE and be sold to an Islamic extremist like Saudi Arabia. This is a dumb rumor. Why they're even exploring selling WWE to Saudi Arabia makes no sense. It literally makes no sense. I wouldn't care. I would not care if they wanted to sell it to Walt Disney World. I wouldn't care if they wanted to sell it to Walt Disney. I wouldn't care if they wanted to sell it to ESPN. I wouldn't care. It just go off by a hitch. Companies get sold all the time. But this rumor is a little dumb. Wanting to sell it to a country that's known for terrorism. Saudi Arabia. I always thought it was a horrible idea, even doing a pay-per-view in the middle of a country that has been filled with wars since, well, the Bible times, actually. If you want to be really honest about this shit. I always thought it was really dumb to even have a pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia to begin with, because it's not a good place to have an event to begin with. It's one of the worst places to hold an event, especially wrestling-wise, because a terrorism attack can happen at any time, at any point in Saudi Arabia. So Vince even exploring this idea of selling a WWE to a terrorist group? What a lovely idea. Yeah. I do not know if this rumor is true or if it's just something that's spreading the internet. But everywhere I look, I keep hearing this damn rumor. And there's sites that have actually confirmed that the sale is in the process of actually being done. I think it's a dumb idea. I think it's if this is true, this would be one of Vince's worst ideas. It would be worse than the Extreme Football League. That is really, really horrible. It's really bad that it could be worse than that idea, XFL. You know what? I'm running out of shit to say with this. Because this makes no sense if true. I wasn't even going to comment on it. But then the more I thought about it, I thought the more it's stupid. It's really, really dumb. And it would make no sense selling a private company or a public traded company, whatever, to a country known for terrorism. Yeah, that's pretty idiotic when you think about it. So I hope this rumor is not true, because it would be the worst thing to happen to not only the WWE, but the United States, because then Saudi Arabia extremists would be allowed here to go to events. It wouldn't be good. That would be bad. I don't just count, mainly me on this video. Maybe next video. Well, you know what? Saudi Arabia. That's all, folks.